You're sitting on the couch, maybe watching TV, maybe scrolling through your phone, maybe just staring at the ceiling after a long and exhausting day, and then you feel it, that quiet, steady pressure, the unmistakable sensation that someone is watching you. You look over, and there he is, your dog, just staring at you, not barking, not moving, not nudging his bowl, just those eyes locked onto yours, unblinking, patient, intense, like he is trying to read something written on the inside of your chest. Most people laugh it off. They glance away, maybe a little uncomfortable, and say something like, "What do you want, buddy?" And the dog just keeps staring. But here is the thing. That stare is not random. It is not creepy, and it is absolutely not nothing. That moment, that quiet, locked-eyed silence between you and your dog, is one of the most scientifically fascinating things happening inside your home every single day. And once you understand what is actually going on behind those eyes, you will never look at your dog the same way again. Let's start with the biology, because this is where it gets genuinely surprising. When a human being makes eye contact with someone they love and holds that gaze, the brain releases a hormone called oxytocin. You have probably heard of it before. It is often called the bonding hormone or the love hormone. It is the same chemical that floods a mother's brain when she first looks at her newborn child. It is the chemical behind trust, attachment, and deep emotional connection. Researchers have understood this about humans for a long time. What they discovered more recently changed the conversation entirely. In 2015, a team led by researcher Takefumi Kikusui at Azabu University in Japan published a landmark study in the journal Science. What they found was this: when your dog stares at you and you stare back, both of your brains, yours and your dog's, release oxytocin at the same time, simultaneously, measurably. The same neurochemical loop that bonds human beings to each other is activated between a person and their dog simply through eye contact. This is not poetic language. This is not interpretation. This is biochemistry you can observe in a lab. And here is what makes that finding truly extraordinary. This mutual oxytocin response does not happen between humans and wolves. It does not happen with other domesticated animals. It is specific, perhaps even unique, to the relationship between humans and dogs. Over thousands of years of living side by side, dogs developed the ability to connect with us through our eyes in a way that mirrors our deepest human bonds. They essentially learned to speak one of our most intimate emotional languages. So when your dog stares at you, at the most fundamental biological level, he is saying, "I love you." And whether you realize it or not, your brain is saying it right back. But the stare carries more than love. And this is where it gets layered. Dogs are extraordinary observers. They notice things about you that you do not notice about yourself. The way your breathing changes when you are anxious. The barely visible shift in your posture when sadness settles into you. The difference in how you carry yourself on a good day versus a day that ground you down. They have been reading these signals for thousands of years, refined through generations of living alongside human beings, and staring is one of their primary tools for doing it. When your dog stares at you, especially in a quiet moment with no obvious trigger, he is often doing something researchers call social referencing. He is checking in, gathering data, reading your emotional state with a focus that most humans never offer to the people around them. Dogs use their owners as anchors. You are his reference point for whether the world is safe, calm, or something to be concerned about. And looking at you is how he calibrates that understanding. Think about it from his perspective for a moment. He cannot ask how you are doing. He cannot send you a message. He cannot pull you aside and say, "Hey, you seem different today. What is going on with you?" The only instrument he has is observation. So he watches. He stares. He studies you with a quiet dedication that most people never receive from anyone. There was a study conducted at the University of Lincoln that monitored exactly how dogs process human faces. Researchers tracked dogs' eye movements as they looked at people expressing different emotions. What they found was striking. Dogs consistently look to the left side of a human face first, which is the right side from their viewing angle, because that is the side that most reliably expresses genuine emotion in humans. Dogs are literally scanning your face the way a trained observer might. And they developed this skill on their own, through proximity, through generations of caring about the people they lived with. They are not just looking at you, they are reading you. Now here is something that most dog owners never stop to consider. The very act of a dog staring at a person is itself a learned behavior, one that was shaped specifically by the human-dog relationship. In the natural world, among dogs themselves, prolonged and direct eye contact is a dominant signal. It can be a challenge. It can mean tension. Dogs do not typically stare at each other the way your dog stares at you. But somewhere in their long history alongside humans, domesticated dogs learned that eye contact works differently with us. That for people, a steady, calm gaze signals closeness rather than conflict. And so gradually, over countless generations, they adapted. They took a signal that carried aggression between members of their own species and transformed it into a gesture of intimacy directed at us. That is not a coincidence. That is your dog choosing to speak your language because he wants to reach you. And sometimes underneath all the science and the evolutionary history, the stare is something even simpler. Sometimes your dog is staring at you because you are his entire world, and he does not want to miss a single moment of it. Dogs do not have ambitions that pull their attention elsewhere. They do not have projects to finish or plans to make or worries about next week. Their emotional life is built almost entirely around you. Your presence, your voice, the familiar rhythm of your breathing when you sleep, the smell of your jacket when you come home. These are not just comforting things to him. They are the substance of his reality. Staring is how he inhabits that reality. It is how he stays close to you even when nothing is happening between you. It is presence in its purest form. There is a concept in animal behavior research called gaze following, and dogs are one of the very few non-human species that practice it the way humans do. If you look toward something, your dog will follow your line of sight, not simply to find food or detect danger, but because he trusts where your attention goes. He believes your eyes lead somewhere worth paying attention to. That level of social attunement, that degree of trust placed in another creature's perception, is something even our closest primate relatives do not reliably demonstrate toward humans. But not every stare is warm, and this is the part that matters most to pay attention to. You have probably felt it before, a stare that carries a different energy, a stillness in your dog that makes you pause and look twice. Dogs sometimes stare because they are frightened and looking to you for reassurance, because something in the environment has unsettled them, and they need a signal from you that says everything is okay. Sometimes they stare because they are experiencing physical discomfort they cannot voice. Dogs tend to conceal pain instinctively. It is a deeply wired survival behavior. But when that discomfort grows, many dogs will turn to the person they trust most and simply look at them. A long, quiet, searching look that carries more than it seems to. Veterinary researchers have noted that shifts in a dog's staring behavior can sometimes serve as an early signal of underlying health changes, cognitive changes in aging dogs, vision issues, neurological shifts. A dog that begins staring blankly at empty corners, or seems to look past you rather than at you, or whose gaze suddenly feels distant and unfocused, may be communicating something important through his eyes, even when every other signal is hidden. This is why learning to truly read your dog's stare is worth your attention, because it is never, not once, meaningless. A soft and relaxed gaze, body loose, tail easy, that is love. That is the oxytocin loop running exactly as it was designed to. That is your dog absorbing you like sunlight. A hard and fixed stare with a tense body and a still tail. That is alertness or stress or both. He is asking you to pay attention alongside him. A slow and heavy gaze, low energy, ears held slightly back. Your dog is reaching toward you in the only way available to him. Do not scroll past that moment. A bright and expectant look, head tilted, body barely containing itself. He wants something. And yes, it is almost certainly related to whatever you are eating. There is one more thing I want to tell you, and it is the thing that tends to stay with people long after the video ends. Researchers who have studied the final stages of a dog's life have noticed something that keeps appearing again and again across different dogs, different breeds, different homes. In a dog's last days, as his body slows and the radius of his world shrinks to the size of a single room, many dogs spend long stretches of time simply staring at their person, not sleeping, barely moving, just watching. For years, people were uncertain what to make of it. Was it disorientation? A kind of mental fog that comes with age or illness? But the more time researchers spent with it, the more a quieter answer emerged. Dogs in their final days appear to be doing exactly what they have always done, staying close to the person who matters most to them. Their body may be winding down, but their emotional instinct remains clear and intact. And that instinct says, look at the one you love. Stay present with him. Hold this connection for as long as you possibly can. That stare in those last quiet days is not confusion. It is not fear. It is the same stare it has always been, just more deliberate, more aware. It is love expressed through the only language they have ever had, and offered, right until the very end, without hesitation. So the next time your dog looks at you from across the room, in the middle of a quiet evening, for no reason you can identify, do not look away too fast. Hold it for a moment. Let the biology do what thousands of years of evolution built it to do. Look back at the creature who made you the center of his entire existence, and who is simply, quietly, completely glad that you are there. Because that stare, it is the closest thing to a declaration of love that has ever crossed the space between two different species. And it has been right there, in plain sight, every single day. If this made you think of your dog, go look at them, right now. And if it moved something in you, a like means more than you might think. It helps this kind of content find the people who need it most. Subscribe if you want to keep understanding the creature who already understands you better than most. And down in the comments, tell me about your dog's stare. What does it look like? When does it happen? I read every single one.